Good day everyone, I am John Shapi Sanchez. For today's video, I am going to discuss about the kinds of curriculum development models. But first, let's define what is a curriculum development. Curriculum development is the way one thinks about and theorizes education has evolved dramatically over time. The most basic definition of the term curriculum nowadays is the disciplines that comprise a course of study at a school, university, or college. Course planning and development are both terms teachers often use to describe curriculum development. First curriculum development model is the naturalistic model of Walker's model of curriculum development. Walker's model is a descriptive one. Communicative approach begins with the designers, target groups, and other stakeholders' more subjective impressions and perspectives. Instead of recommending how curriculum planning should be done, the word naturalistic explains how it is done. Walker believes that if people were involved in the process and came to an agreement on the end output, better curriculum planning and development would occur. Platform, deliberation, and design are the three steps of curriculum preparation in this methodology. In platform, the curriculum workers bring their own beliefs, knowledge, and values to the table. Next is deliberation. This phase specifies which facts are required for the means and purposes, as well as the generation of alternatives and considerations of the alternatives' effects, the analysis of different costs and repercussions, and selected of the optimal option of the upcoming curriculum work also employs this. Lastly is the design. Finally, this step entails curriculum preparation, decision-making, and implementation. The level at which the development is taking place has an impact on this curriculum development model. Educators utilize it for curriculum development at a macro level. It also emphasizes that designers, target groups, and other stakeholders' subjective perceptions and perspectives. Next is TABA's model of curriculum development, or down-top model or grassroots method. In steps of Hilda Taba's curriculum development model, this learning paradigm was created by Hilda Taba. Taba thought that constructing a curriculum follows a logical and linear order. She advocates for the down-top model, also known as a grassroots method. The following are the 7 steps of Taba's grassroots model. First step is learners' needs diagnosis. The teachers, who are also the curriculum designers, begin the process by determining the requirements of the pupils for whom they need to design the curriculum. For example, the majority of students are incapable of critical thinking. Second, establishing objectives. After the instructors recognizes the learner's needs that require attention, they determine the goals that they will use to meet those requirements. Third, choosing the content. The objectives chosen or produced suggest the curriculum subject or substance. It is necessary to determine the validity and significance of the chosen content in addition to the aims and substance. That is, the content's relevance and significance. Next is organization of the content. A teacher must not only select content but also organize it in a particular sequence that takes into account the learner's maturity, academic achievement, and interests. Next, choosing learning experiences. Students must be presented with content and be actively interested in it. At this point, the teacher should choose an educational style that will engage pupils in the material. Next is the organizing learning activities. Learning activities should be ordered in a sequence based on both the content sequence and the characteristics of the learners. The teacher must consider the kids he or she will be instructing. And lastly, evaluation. The curriculum planner, that is, the educator, must determine whether the objectives were met. To assess the achievement of learning objectives, evaluation processes need to be created. Next model is Tyler's model of curriculum development. The Tyler model is the definitive prototype of curriculum development in the scientific approach developed by Ralph Tyler in the 1940s. One might virtually argue that every licensed teacher in America and possibly abroad has designed a curriculum using this paradigm or one of its numerous versions, either directly or indirectly. Tyler's model is brilliant since it was one of the earliest, and it was and still is a very simple model consisting of 4 steps. These steps are called curriculum and instructional fundamentals. First step is determining the goals of the school, aka objectives. The first step is to figure out what the school's goals are. To put it another way, what must students do in order to be successful? Each subject has its own set of natural goals that serve as signs of mastery. For instance, a school designing an English curriculum would set a goal for pupils to produce essays. This would be just one of the curriculum's numerous goals. Next is identifying the educational experiences that are relevant to the goal. Step 2 is to create learning experiences that will assist students for completing step 1. For instance, suppose educators require students to complete an essay. They may demonstrate how to write an essay as part of the learning experience. The pupils may then get the opportunity to practice writing essays. The experience, essay writing and demonstration, is in line with the goal students will write an essay. Next is organizing the experiential learning. The third step is to classify the experiences. It is better for the teacher to demonstrate initially or for the pupils to learn by writing right away. Either technique would work, and the preference is determined by the teacher's mindset and the student's needs. The point is that the teacher must decide on a logical order for the students' experiences. Next step is assessing the objectives. The fourth and last phase is to evaluate the objectives. The teacher is now evaluating the students' abilities to compose an essay. This can be accomplished in a variety of ways. For example, the teacher could assign pupils to write an essay on their own. If they are able to do so, it indicates that the students have met the lesson's goal. This model has a few variations. Educators, on the other hand, still widely regard the Tyler model as the most effective paradigm for curriculum development. And the last model, Wheeler's model of curriculum development. Wheeler created a 5-phase cyclical model of curriculum development, which appeared to address Tyler's criticisms. His cyclical model resembles both linear and Taba's interactive models in many ways. The following are the essential components of Wheeler's model. Aims, goals, and objectives must be chosen. Educators must select learning experiences. Content selection, which delivers specific types of experiences. The organization and integration of learning experiences and content in relation to the teaching-learning process in a classroom and school. And lastly, evaluation of all aspects of all other phases' effectiveness in achieving the goals. This model depicts a cyclic and continuous process, implying that curriculum development should always be moving from one step to the next. It should never stop. The curriculum planner and the teacher are involved in a series of continual decision-making processes about a wide range of elements in Wheeler's approach, which is considered dynamic rather than static. Because of its broad application, Wheeler advises that educators must employ this technique in all curriculum development at any level. To sum up, it is not easy to create, construct, and implement an education program, especially when it comes to online learning. Instructors have their own work cut out for them, with educational technology playing an increasingly important part in higher education and today's diverse students' body. Educators, on the other hand, will be setting themselves and their students up for the long-term success if they follow the core standards and framework of curriculum development. And that is all for different kinds of curriculum development model.